Welcome to Citizens News. It's not every day we get a celebrity like Mr. P.C. Cyriac to join us. Mr. Cyriac, currently convener of the Aam Aadmi Party in Kerala, really built a reputation around his work as an IAS officer in Tamil Nadu. He started out as Special Officer for Transportation in Tamil Nadu and was the prime mover of the reorganization of the transportation department there. Took the monolithic organization that the transportation department was and broke it up into units that competed and were more streamlined, more accountable. So today we've asked Mr. Cyriac to talk to us about this proposed Silver Line project. And since he has a background in transportation, I think we have some interesting observations from him. Stay tuned, folks.
So thank you, Mr. Praveen, for your very kind introduction, very generous introduction, I should say. Yes, as you mentioned, I was fortunate to be playing a big role in reorganization of the transport department in Tamil Nadu. As we know, our KSRTC is a white elephant. The Tamil Nadu transport outfit also used to be so many years ago. So I got the opportunity to be appointed as the special officer of the transport department for restructuring the whole setup. Of course, I was guided by a veteran civil servant, Mr. M.S. Ram, who was the secretary of the transport department there. I was a youngster then, so we together worked out a policy under which the Monolith Transport Corporation was divided into four private limited companies which are registered under the Companies Act, then 1956. Companies Act was passed in 1956. That used to be in force till it was amended 2013 or so. So we registered four companies owned by the government as private limited companies under the government of Tamil Nadu. And there will be healthy competition amongst these four transport corporations. And we were able to compare the performance of one another. And that way, many of them were led to the path of profit within a short period of time. I was, after the special officership, I became managing director of one of the major corporations out of this war, and then member of the board of directors of each one of these corporations. Later on, after a few years, I got promoted as the transport secretary. By then a few years had passed, the number of corporations in Tamil Nadu had increased to about 10. I became the chairman of all the corporations and the secretary to government. So I am happy to say that even today, Tamil Nadu transport corporations, they maintain their own distinct position in the transport firmament of the country. In fact, they are a model, and I am sure because of the sound systems we built in at that time, there will be a healthy growth in the years to come. And there is professional management also. So thank you for that initial introduction, which gave me the opportunity to introduce myself to the Kerala. In fact, I was in Kerala for some time. I was the chairman of the rubber board in Kerala for 5 years. There also we were able to come up with many innovative schemes for improving the lot of the small rubber growers who form the bulk of the Kerala farming community. And we organized during that period about 1,500 village level societies, rubber producer societies called RPSs, rubber producer societies. They collected the crop, they did collective processing of the crop and made it marketable. Some of them moved into value-added products also. Even today, after nearly 25-30 years after that, more than 1,000 RPSs survive, struggling through the vicissitudes which they encountered during all this period.
It's wonderful.
So even today, more than 1,000 of them are working. And when rubber industry is in doldrum today, rubber plantation industry is in serious trouble because of the unreasonably huge quantities of rubber imports. Even then, these RPSs continue to be the mainstay of the small rubber growers here. So I am happy to mention that also. Now to come back to the topic today, that is Silver Line semi-high-speed project as they describe it. The Kerala government, with a lot of good intentions perhaps, they have planned to implement this huge project, the biggest ever infrastructural project attempted to be done in a state in Kerala. A 64,000 crores project now. I am sure it is not going to be a 64,000 crore project. It will end up as a 150,000 crore project, 150,000 crore project. And what Kerala government says is true in one sense. Transportation is in a bad plight in Kerala. The KSRTC, the road transport, not doing well. Not only because of the poor management, inefficient management. There are more than half the buses are belonging to private sector. They will be at least profit oriented. But the roads are difficult, roads are narrow. The national highway development which has taken place in neighboring states like Tamil Nadu has not happened here. Here our highways are still single track, one way, two tracks are there, this way and the opposite direction. So if you happen to be on the road with a loaded truck in your front, you will never be able to overtake. Maybe you will be overtaking after 20-30 kilometers even. So this type of situation creates transport bottlenecks on the road. When there are bottlenecks and when there are difficulties, people try to somehow move ahead. Accidents are created. And also pollution, the vehicles moving in low gears for a long time, creating a lot of carbon emissions. So environment is a problem. All sorts of difficulties come in. So road is a difficult thing. At the same time, how is rail here? The rail transportation from, let us say, Trivandrum in the southern end of the state to Kasaragod in the northern end will take minimum 10 to 12 hours, even by express trains. So this project ambitiously envisages covering this distance within about 4 hours. I don't know how many of our people are in such breakneck hurry as to pay a high ticket fare, high price ticket, buy a high price ticket and take this. That's another question. So the first time, let me mention the difficulties, the advantages and the reasons why the Kerala government is taking up this. So the road transportation is already cluttered. Roads are cluttered. Difficulties, all the problems, attendant problems. Railway line, even today, the double line is not really a reality in Kerala. Between Kochi and Alleppey, between Kochi and Kottayam, there are single lane areas. So this is going on. Doubling is an aim. Doubling is an approved project, but it has been going on for 30, 40 years now, this process of doubling. Even today it is not complete. Land acquisition is a problem, and then the implementation, the allocation of funds by the railways every year, that is also a problem. Kerala does not wield much of influence in Delhi in the railway ministry. So that way also this gets delayed, so that the doubling has not taken place. So the trains are forced to stop at various places, giving way to trains on the other direction. So delays. Then again the curves in the railway lines, they say they are sharp curves. Too much speed cannot be taken. Then most important is the signaling system. Even today we are having an old system of blocks, various blocks. Within one block, if one train is entering, the other train will not be allowed to come in until this train reaches the other station and leaves from there. So this type of block, technologically backward, this signaling system is preventing the trains from speeding up. preventing us from utilizing the track capacity to the optimum extent. So these are the main points, problems which are afflicting the railway side. And they have been, therefore the government says the roadways are not going to get improved in very soon. Though they have approved the doubling of the national highway, etc. Problems about land acquisition, opposition from the people, delayed procedures in the courts. Then even implementation side, Kerala has to learn a lot. Our Koilon and Alleppey bypasses in the national highways got developed, only began 20, 30, 40 years, got commissioned only last year.
So thank you for that big picture view of the transportation scenario in Kerala, Mr. Syriac. So, as I understand it, what you're saying is that Kerala has significant deficiencies in the existing system for roads and railways. And instead of fixing those things, the Kerala government is seeking to try something else while leaving the essential areas for roads and railway undone. Thank you.